Hello, friends. It's time once more for a story, another fantastical Neckbeard fanfiction. Or should I say, Legbeard fanfiction. Trudy's Coffee Shop Romance, Part 3 of a Neckbeard Trilogy. Hello once again, Moonhorse. Hello. Hope that the hurricane didn't hit you too badly and that you're doing well as you read this. I'm alright, thank you. I also hope that everyone in the Moonherd is doing well and is staying hydrated. I'm back with another Neckbeard fanfiction. This time follows the tale of a Legbeard with some surprise guest characters. I took a little more creative liberty with this story, so I hope that's okay. There's also a continuity error that I needed to fix from the last one. The 10 years that Rebecca and Steven were dating should have been 5. Thank you all so much for the kind words, and please enjoy the story. Trudy was your typical Legbeard. Overweight, neglectful of personal hygiene. She rarely shaved or even showered. Her hair was dyed an obnoxious neon blue and pink. It was very greasy and very tangled. Split ends were inevitable. She spent most of her time watching anime and obsessing over certain characters. Shipping wars were her bread and butter. If some unfortunate soul dared to cross her path and did the heretical thing of saying they liked a ship that she didn't, they would feel her totally justified fury. She was the one to unleash every trick in the book. Anon hate, misinformed call-out posts, anything to get the artist, writer, or bystander she didn't like kicked from the website. Sometimes she even went nuclear with popular artists and would send them baked goods laced with needles. Anything to stop these heretics. She would write stories about certain characters getting together, or main female characters coming to sweep her off her feet and take her away from this real world. She'd always complained about how she hated this real world. Everything was just terrible. Her most prominent complaint was how her parents hated her. In actuality, her life wasn't so bad. While her family wasn't exactly wealthy, they weren't in poverty either. Her parents were both in the field of medicine, with her father as a registered nurse and her mother as a physical therapist. The oppression her parents were putting her under was that they wanted her to get a job. She whined and moaned, but her parents held their ground against their daughter's barrage of whining attacks. The battle between parents and daughter was long, and the attacks were launched by both sides. Trudy would say nasty things to her parents that would break their hearts. This would be met with a retaliatory attack of no internet for a week. The war finally ended when her parents cut off the supply line funding her anime figure collection, the family credit card. With this devastating blow, she had no choice but to get a job. The battle was finally over, but it was a costly one. She decided to work at generic coffee store, as she thought that she might find true love while working there, just like one of her numerous coffee shop AU fanfictions. Oh, how she fantasized about finding her true love there. That, and she got a discount on the coffee for being an employee. She was a difficult trainee for her trainer. She believed herself superior to this menial labor and would scoff when told what to do. She was just here to get paid. Her co-workers despised her, especially when she would prattle on and on about her favorite ships for the shows she watched when she was supposed to be working. Her spell was also complained about by both co-worker and customer alike, sometimes even at the same time. She was written up, but it didn't do much. She was at the register when the gods, or a writer wanting to move the plot along, answered her prayers. In walked Rebecca. Rebecca's life up to now had gone downhill, fast. Her husband had not realized how Rebecca liked her coffee, and that included not sleeping with other women. Apparently, Steven had been doing this for a while. Her final gift to him was a slap across the face. She was upset at herself for being so blind to his antics, and the divorce was equally as messy. While that was going on, Generic Office Company was downsizing after a scandal broke out with the head manager stealing some of the company's secrets and fleeing the country. As such, the company needed to do some reorganizing. So they let Rebecca go. They gave her the typical thank you for your work here speech and canned her. She had dedicated parts of her life to the office, and they just threw her out. One of the few co-workers that still worked there, they thought her termination was unwarranted, but there wasn't anything anyone could do. Rebecca wondered, what did she do to deserve all this? Was there some writer who wanted to torture her in the name of some sick plot? She had no idea. Rebecca had gone to generic coffee store for some caffeine to aid in her keeping herself energized for her job interview at a local veterinary clinic. They needed a new front desk worker, and she had just the right amount of experience. As she got to the counter to order, a semi-familiar smell hit her. A wave of panic washed over her. The only other one to have that smell was... Jason. She looked up and was somewhat relieved to see it was not Jason. Trudy was staring at Rebecca. Trudy had a new religion, and Rebecca was the goddess of that religion. An awkward silence occurred before Rebecca spoke up. Hello?
Hi, welcome to Generic Coffee, home of the most generic coffee flavors you'll ever taste. What can I get you today, my goddess?
Trudy stammered out. Rebecca cringed inwardly a little at the goddess comment. Oh God, not again, she thought. Hadn't she suffered enough? Look, just a vanilla latte with a shot of espresso, please, Rebecca said. She just wanted to leave as quickly as she could.
That'll be $5.25. Can I get your name?
Rebecca.
That's a lovely name for such a lovely goddess. Your order will be out in 10 minutes.
Rebecca thanked Trudy, as politeness dictated, and just ignored the flirty remark. She walked away and waited for her order. 10 minutes would pass, and Rebecca would get her order, but she mistimed when her interview actually was, and she didn't want to wait in the baking sun or a vet waiting area, so she was forced to drink her order in the shop. She could feel Trudy's stare on her the whole time. Jason had made her very aware of when someone was staring. She looked over, and Trudy would look away. Why did she attract all the creeps? Rebecca would end up visiting the coffee shop multiple times after being hired at the clinic. The coffee wasn't exactly that bad, and some of the employees were really nice to talk to. So she would go there, even if Trudy was working. Trudy lived for the days that Rebecca would visit. She loved seeing her goddess every time she came to work. She gave Rebecca all kinds of discounts when she was the cashier for those days. Rebecca insisted that she didn't have to, but she still did it. When Rebecca would sit down, she would just watch her. Even when she didn't come in, Trudy would still see her. She had found Rebecca's Instagram and stalked through her profile. Her interactions with Rebecca did have a positive impact on Trudy. She began to shower more on a regular basis and even used deodorant. The complaints about the smell were less common now, and Rebecca didn't keep so much of a distance when ordering. Progress. When Rebecca would receive her order next, she would find a number written on the cup next to her name, surrounded by little hearts. Just when Rebecca thought things were getting better, Trudy had to go move some of the stock in the back so she couldn't see her reaction to the cup, but when she got back to the front, she could see that Rebecca wasn't there, and thus hovered around her cell phone. She waited all day, but no response would come. It devastated Trudy. Perhaps Rebecca didn't see it. That had to be it. She'd tried this trick 2 more times and was devastated each time. Trudy finally had had enough. She was going to confront Rebecca about why she didn't like her. Rebecca waited in line and got into the front of the order. Before she could ask for her usual order, Trudy interjected.
Why didn't you call me? I know you had my number.
I'm sorry?
My number? I put it on your coffee cups? You never called me. I thought you would understand that I was asking you out, and you didn't respond.
Trudy, look...
Are you being abused?
Excuse me? Rebecca stammered out when she heard Trudy's accusation.
Are you being abused? It's the only reason you wouldn't want to date me. You must be stuck in an abusive relationship. Don't worry, my goddess. I can get you out of it. We can go to the police together, then you and I can be together forever. Just like in my fanfictions.
Trudy said in a creepy, somewhat dreamy state. No, not again. Rebecca was not going through this a second time. Trudy, look. I'm not being abused. I'm not even in a relationship.
So why did you reject me? We'd be perfect for each other. You and I would make the greatest couple. I would treat you like the goddess you are. I'm so much better for you than any man would be.
Trudy, listen. Rebecca yelled after finally having enough of this. I don't like you romantically because I don't even know you. Our only interactions are from here, and each time, you were creepy. You would stare at me and kept calling me your goddess. I'm sorry, but I don't have any feelings for you. I probably never will. So can I please just place my order and we go our separate ways? Trudy was stunned at Rebecca's confession. After everything she had done for Rebecca, she was rejecting her. There was a moment of silence before Trudy spoke up.
You want coffee? Fine. Here's your coffee, you heartbreaker,
Trudy said coldly before her voice rose in anger. She grabbed a nearby coffee cup and threw it at Rebecca. It was a nice coffee, fortunately. Rebecca gave an audible gasp as the coffee was thrown at her. She was stunned by what Trudy just did. It didn't stop there, however.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to add the milk,
Trudy yelled before tossing a cup of milk that was ordered by another customer at Rebecca. Rebecca let out another gasp as the milk was thrown onto her. Her outfit was in ruins, and she had to go to work soon. She looked at the state of her clothes and then let out an irritated growl. While her attention was drawn away, Trudy made a run for it and ran out of the store, realizing that she had just messed up any chance she had with her goddess. She was long gone before the manager came out to see the commotion. Needless to say, Trudy was fired from her first job. The manager apologized to Rebecca a lot and even offered her $25 in store credit as an apology. Another customer had come to give Rebecca some napkins to dry herself with. She thanked the stranger and asked for her name. The stranger was Stephanie. The two walked for a bit, and it turned out they were co-workers. Must have passed each other without even noticing. Working at a veterinarian's clinic can get hectic. The more they talked, the more they had in common. They liked similar things. They were into the same type of media. Even had a nice guy story to share with each other. Maybe this day wasn't all that ruined. Rebecca might have found a friend, and maybe even a girlfriend, depending on how they got along. As Trudy was running down the sidewalk back to her apartment, she ran into two men. A little confrontation started and ended with heated words. Both parted ways, but the two men stopped when Trudy cried out how this was the worst day of her life. First, she was rejected for being such a nice girl. The two men turned back to Trudy.
You got rejected for being a nice person, too?
One asked in a nasally voice.
Yeah, I was nice to her, and she just rejected me. Us too, said the other male. We should show them how nice we are. Then they'll have to date us.
The two men nodded.
Who are you guys, anyway? I'm Jason. And I'm Tyler.
They soon traded phone numbers and even made a group chat. Neatly Intriguing Collective of Gentle People was the name of the chat. It wouldn't fit, however, as that was way too many characters, so they just called it Nice for short. They all had one goal in mind, to make Rebecca and Stephanie see how nice they could truly be. Ooh, ending on a cliffhanger. It's like, wow, I can't wait to see where this goes. Thank you so much for writing this. This is really good. Oh, man. I'm excited. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this and would like to send your own story, be it a Neckbeard fanfiction or a real story or just anything, you can send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. I check it every day, so I will see it. And if you'd like to purchase some merchandise to keep this channel going and to keep the lights on in here, that I also would greatly appreciate. You can get that from the merch store. The links to everything that I just said and more, including all the words I just said, not really actually, just the things I was talking about, are in the description below this video. Why do I keep pointing down every time I say that? Like you can see me. That's weird. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. I love you all and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!